Hello everybody, my name is Colin9. Welcome back to another video. Today in this one, I want to talk to you about the new Voiceless voice archetype that will be released in Phantom Nightmare. Now, if you don't know what the Voiceless voice archetype is, it's a new ritual strategy that basically revolves around light dragon rituals and light warrior rituals, and their main gimmick is to basically be a one-card ritual summon, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. Is the new Voiceless voice archetype actually good? So in this video, I'll be covering the new cards in the strategy. I'll be doing some combos with those cards, and at the end of the video, I'll be giving you my thoughts on the strategy. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Alrighty, now to cover the new cards in Voiceless Voice. Now, if you already know what the cards do and want to skip to the combo portion of the video and my thoughts on the archetype, I'll put a timestamp on screen right now for you to skip to. But if you don't know what the new cards do, this portion of the video is for you. So without further ado, let's get straight into the new card, shall we? The first thing we'll start off with is Lo, the Prayers of the Voiceless Voice, which is a light level 1 fairy effect monster with 50 attack and 2050 defense. And the effect reads as follows. If you ritual summon exactly one light ritual monster, warrior, or dragon with the card effect that requires a use of monsters, this card can be used as the entire tribute, and can only use each of the following effects of Lo, the Prayers of the Voiceless Voice once per turn. If this card is normal to spell summon, you can place one Voiceless Voice continuous spell trap from your deck face up into the spell trap zone. Then if a light ritual warrior or dragon monster is special summoned to your field while this card's in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card. So overall, a very good card for the archetype. This is basically what they're trying to revolve around. Because not only does it being able to place a continuous spell trap, a Voiceless Voice spell trap directly from your deck, but if you ritual summon a light dragon or warrior ritual monster, this can be used as the entire tribute. And then the bottom effect, while this card's in your graveyard and you special summon a light warrior or dragon ritual monster, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. So basically, this makes it where if you ritual summon, you basically lose nothing, because even if you use this as the tribute for the ritual monster, it still recognizes that it's in the graveyard for that ritual summon, so it's still able to special summon itself out from the graveyard. So absolutely insane card for the archetype. Next card up here is Safari, Dragon Queen of the Voiceless Voice, which is a level 6 light effect monster with 2500 attack and 2400 defense. And the effect reads as follows. You can discard this card, send one ritual spell from your deck to the graveyard, then you can add a light ritual monster, warrior, or dragon from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And then the second effect is you can banish this card from your graveyard, ritual summon one light ritual monster, warrior, or dragon from your hand by attributing monsters from your hand or field whose total level equals or exceeds the level of the ritual monster. You can only use each effect of Safari, Dragon Queen of the Voiceless Voice once per turn. Another very insane card for the archetype. Not only is it able to discard itself to send a ritual spell from deck to graveyard, then search any light ritual monster, warrior, dragon from your graveyard or deck to your hand, but in the graveyard just acts as a ritual spell. So it's very insane card for the archetype. Next thing up here is we got Safaris, Dragon Sage of the Voiceless Voice, which is a level 7 light dragon effect monster with 2600 attack and 2800 defense. And the effect reads as follows. You can special summon this card from your hand by shuffling 2 spells from your hand and or graveyard into the deck, including a ritual spell. You can only special summon Safaris, Dragon Sage of the Voiceless Voice once per turn this way. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can return this card from your field to your hand, special summon a light ritual monster, warrior, or dragon from your hand or deck by shuffling it into the deck during the end phase of the next turn. You can only use each effect of Savaris, Dragon Sage of the Voiceless Voice once per turn. So also a very good card for the archetype as well. Not only is it able to special itself by shuffling 2 spells from your hand or graveyard, that includes a ritual spell as well, which is not hard to do in this archetype, but it basically lets you cheat out a ritual monster from your deck as well whenever your opponent activates a card effect. So an absolutely insane card for the archetype as well. Now let's cover their new ritual monster, and that is Skull Guardian, Protector of the Voiceless Voice, which is a level 7 light warrior ritual monster with 2050 attack and 2500 defense. And the effect reads as follows. You can ritual summon this card with Prayers of the Voiceless Voice. It gains 2050 attack while you have low Prayer of the Voiceless Voice on your field or in your graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects of Skull, Dragon, Protector of the Voiceless Voice once per turn. If this card is ritual summoned, you can add a Voiceless Voice monster or ritual monster, warrior or dragon from your deck to your hand. And when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a low Prayer of the Voiceless Voice, quick effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So a very insane card for the Archetype. Not only is it able to gain 2050 attack while you have low somewhere on the field or in the graveyard, but it searches out any Voiceless Voice card or dragon or warrior ritual monster from your deck, but it's also just an Omni-Negate while you control low on the field as well. So a very good card for the Archetype. Now let's get into the spell cards that they have. We'll start off with Prayers of the Voiceless Voice, which is a ritual spell card, and the effect reads as follows. This card can be used to ritual summon any light ritual monster. You must also tribute light monsters from your hand or field whose total level equals or exceed the level of the ritual monster. If a face-up light ritual monster you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, except during the damage step, you can banish this card from your graveyard, spell summon one Savaris, Savaris the Ancient and Ascended, Safari, Queen of the Dragons, or Skull, Guardian, Protector of the Voiceless Voice from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. You can only use this effect of Prayers of the Voiceless Voice once per turn. So overall, a very good card for the Archetype. Not only is it, well, the ritual spell for the Archetype, but its graveyard effect is really good as well. Whenever a light ritual monster you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, you can basically banish this card from your graveyard and then just cheat out another ritual monster, either being Savaris, Safari, or Skull Guardian, which is absolutely an insane card for the Archetype. Next thing up here, we got Barrier of the Voiceless Voice, which is a continuous spell card, and the effect reads as follows. While you control low the Prayer of the Voiceless Voice and a light ritual monster, your opponent's monsters can only target ritual monsters for attacks. Also, your opponent cannot target light monsters you control with card effects. Then, during the main phase, you can add a Voiceless Voice card or one Skull Guardian ritual monster from your deck to your hand, except Barrier of the Voiceless Voice. And you can only use each effect of Barrier of the Voiceless Voice once per turn. So it's also a very good card for the Archetype as well. It basically just lets you search any Voiceless Voice card or the Skull Guardian ritual monster as well. Then it has the protection effects for not only low, but for your light ritual monsters as well. So again, a very good card, especially since the low card can place this into the spell trap zone. And then their last card they have here is a new trap card, which is Radiance of the Voiceless Voice, which is a continuous trap card for the Archetype. And the effect reads as follows. During the main phase, you can activate one of these effects. You can either shuffle one light ritual monster, warrior, or dragon, or one ritual spell from your hand or graveyard into the deck. And if you do, add to your hand or spell summon one Voiceless Voice monster from your deck. Or you can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of light ritual monsters, warrior, or dragons you control. Destroy both this card and as many of those targets as possible. You can only use each effect of Radiance of the Voiceless Voice once per turn. And also, very good card for the Archetype as well. Not only can low place this into the spell trap zone, which is very good for the Archetype, both effects pretty much come up a lot as well. Being able to shuffle a light ritual or ritual spell from your hand or graveyard back into the deck to special summon any Voiceless Voice from your deck is insane, especially since Savaris can help you cheat out a ritual as well. But the second effect, being able to target cards your opponent controls up to the number of light ritual monsters, warrior, or dragons you control, and then just pop them, is also insane as well. So that's it for the entire Archetype. Now let's get into the combo, shall we? So, what does the new Voiceless Voice Archetype actually do? Well, let's show you some combos, shall we? So all you really need is low. That's all you really need for this combo. I know Dueling Book has it as a different name. That's because they're still using the OCG name. But low is the only really card that you really need for this strategy. So again, we'll go into standby main phase. We'll normal summon low effect to place a barrier into the spell trap zone. Use barrier's effect to search out Saphira. Then we'll do Saphira's effect. Discard itself. We'll send Prayers of the Voiceless Voice to search out Skull Guardian. Then we'll go ahead and do Saphira's effect. Banish itself to become a ritual spell, basically. Tribute off a low. Special summon Skull Guardian. We'll go Skull Guardian 1. Low effect Chain Link 2. We'll special summon low. Then Skull Guardian will search out Savaris. And then we'll link into a Dynamond here. And then pass on that. Now, Dynamond's actually a pretty cool link to for ritual strategies. So in your opponent's draw phase, you go Dynamond effect, targeting the Skull Guardian special itself, and then go Low's effect since a light ritual dragon or warrior was special summon. You special summon Low from the graveyard, then Low effect on summon to place out Radiance from the deck. Now here you have the Omni Negate in Skull Guardian. You have Savaris as the targeted protection, but you also have Radiance, which can shuffle back Savaris or any ritual spell as well works here as well. To special out effect monster Savaris from the deck. Then whenever your opponent activates a monster effect, you can return Savaris back to the hand to special out Savaris Ritual from the deck. And then you have the Savaris effect on field, which is basically a negate for any inherent summon. So any extra deck monster, something like Diabellstar comes up in this situation as well. So just off of one card, that being Low, you have an Omni Negate, you have a inherent summon negate off of Savaris, and you have the Prayers of the Voiceless Voice in graveyard. So if they ever remove the Skull Guardian off the field by card effect, you can banish it to special summon another Skull Guardian or Savaris or even the Saphira Ritual from your deck. So pretty cool what Low by itself does. Alrighty, now to show you another combo with Voiceless Voice. And in this combo, I'll be showing off Pre-Preparation Rites and Diviner of the Herald. These are going to be two cards that are going to be very important to the Voiceless Voice strategy. So let's show you what the combo does, shall we? My bad, if I can unpause the video here. So we'll go standby main phase. We'll activate Pre-Preparation Rites. We'll search out Skull Guardian and then Prayers of the Voiceless Voice here. Then we'll go ahead and normal summon Diviner effect, sending Trias High Arca, which I'm definitely mispronouncing, by the way. We'll do effect to Trias High Arca, attributing the Diviner to special itself to the field, then do Diviner effect since it was tributed to summon out Low. Then we'll go Low effect to go ahead and place Barrier into the spell trap zone. We'll go Barrier effect, search out Saphira. Then we'll go Saphira's effect, discarding itself to the graveyard, dumping Prayers of the Voiceless Voice, and searching out Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph Dragon, which is a light dragon ritual monster, so it is searchable in this archetype. Then we'll go ahead and do Saphira's effect, banishing itself, tributing off the Low to special summon the Skull Guardian. We'll go Skull Guardian 1, Low, Chain Link 2, special itself to the field, and then off of Skull Guardian, we'll search off Saphira's effect monster. Then we'll go effect of Prayers of the Voiceless Voice. We'll tribute off Trias High Arca to summon out the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph. Then we'll special summon off the Savaris by shuffling Silent Force and the Pre-Preparations Rite back into the deck here. And then we'll link off into the Dynamond here, and we'll pass on that. So in this combo, just a 2-card combo, we actually got a lot more. So we'll go Dynamond effect in your opponent's draw phase to summon out the Skull Guardian, then effect of Low in the graveyard to special itself back to the field, then effect to place out the Radiance into the spell trap zone. Now in this combo, you have the Omni Negate, obviously, but you also have Savaris effect to summon out the Savaris Ritual from your deck as well. You have a Radiance here, which in this case can actually pop 3 cards. I should pop the trap card here as well, but I kind of forgot to do it in this combo. But it is a pop 3 since we have 3 light ritual dragon or warrior ritual monsters on the field, so that is a pop 3 here. Then we have Savaris effect to, negate an inherent summon. And then we have the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph, which is a spell negate as well. So just off of 2 cards, we actually got a lot more in that combo, a lot more interruption. So yeah, very cool combo there. So what are my thoughts on the new Voiceless Voice archetype? Well, I'll lead with this. I think the Voiceless Voice archetype is actually a very cool idea. The fact that Low is basically everything for the archetype, so it's just a 1-card combo, being able to place any Voiceless Voice continuous spell trap into the spell trap zone, itself being able to be the entire tribute of a ritual summon, and itself coming back when you special summon a light ritual or dragon ritual monster as well, is very insane. I like the idea of the Savaris effect monster being able to basically cheat out a ritual monster from your deck. I like the idea of Sephara being able to discard, send a ritual spell, and then search a light dragon or warrior ritual monster from the deck, and then banishing itself to become a ritual spell as well. I like the idea of this archetype, but do I think it's actually going to be competitively viable? That's where it gets a little interesting. So yes, I think it's a very cool, and I think it's decent, but going into this next format, especially with Snake Eyes being in the next format, I just don't think it's going to be able to compete with that deck. Now, I still think it'll see some play, like maybe a tier 2 strategy. You'll see it at like regionals and some YCSs. Not as much as you'll see something like the Snake Eye strategy, but it's something you do have to worry about. But I just don't think it's going to be on the top tier level as where something like Snake Eyes is going to be. So maybe I think it's a deck that you might want to pick up now, because maybe later in the future, maybe once like, you know, the Snake Eyes and the Fire support all get hit, maybe in the next ban list or something like that, maybe then it's a deck that you want to play, because again, it is a 1-card ritual deck, which is very cool. I think but for right now, I think the Voiceless Voice is a cool strategy, and it's going to see some play. I just don't think it's going to be as good. I think it's maybe going to be just a tier 2 strategy. So yeah, that is my opinion on the deck. If you have a different opinion, let me know in the comments down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content on the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.